What's up, guys? Justin Jets here. Today I wanted to talk about something that's been on my mind for quite some time, several years now. And I've mentioned it in other random videos I've made, but I've never made a video about it, and it needs to be said. So I'm making one now. And this has to do with modern gaming and why it is garbage. It's pure garbage. And the latest edition of this is Hogwarts Legacy. Let me define it a little bit more too. I mean modern AAA games mostly, but other games, not necessarily AAA. Now, little context here. I'm a 34-year-old man, and I've been playing games since I was born. I've been a gamer, and by a gamer, I don't mean I casually play. I mean, this is pretty much my life since my entire entertainment is video games. I mean, I grew up with our first console, I believe, was just a regular NES. I remember very little about it. I was very young, but I remember playing the Chipmunks game, and we had a Godzilla game. Then we had graduated to the Super Nintendo, and I played more Super Nintendo than I could even describe. Then we grew up with the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. I owned everything, and I played everything. And for the most part, throughout gaming history, I believe not only have games been great, but they've progressively improved through every generation. And this went on all the way until, I would say, even some of the PS3 days. There's a lot about the PS3 era, the Xbox 360 era, that's very good and a big improvement. But everything, in my opinion, really started to go downhill ever since we've hit the PlayStation 4, Xbox One era. Now, most of these problems Nintendo doesn't suffer from. Nintendo is kind of its own creature with all of this. I love almost everything Nintendo pumps out still. Definitely going to be playing this new Zelda game. And there's a lot of indie games and random games here and there, even modern ones, that I still love even now. I'm going to get into the ones that I hate. Okay, now, this is what I hate about modern games. The short version, they're not even about being fun anymore. There's nothing fun about them. Modern games is like being on a train on tracks, and the gameplay is that you pedal, right? Instead of an engine, it's just a bunch of people pedaling. That's what most modern, specifically single-player games are like. You're just on the tracks, and it just guides you through this game. It's almost like watching a movie in a lot of ways. Not just, and I want to make sure everyone understands, my complaint isn't even about the cutscenes. Cutscenes have been in games for a long time. Games I love. I love cutscenes. And the cutscenes specifically aren't even what I hate about these modern games. It's the gameplay is like a cutscene. They play for you. You don't even play these games. They play for you. So I'm getting off on a tangent. Let me go back to the start. Okay, so Hogwarts Legacy. If it was up to me, I'd have never bought this game to begin with, because I could have told you beforehand I would hate this game. I could see the writing on the wall from the trailers that this game's going to be modern gaming trashy. But my wife, she is a massive Harry Potter fan. Massive Harry Potter fan. And we got this game for her. We did not buy this game for me. So I got it on my PS5. She played it some. She's more of a casual gamer, though, so she hasn't played it. She plays games more casually. So I decided I'd give it a try and play, since I spent $70, right, for a digital copy of the game, which is ridiculous. $70 for this game. And the first hour of the game was immediately exactly as what I expected the game to be. The first hour you play this game tells you everything you need to know. Maybe in the first hour there's 10 minutes, that's being generous, of actually playing the game. It's 50 minutes of cutscenes, forced walk sequence, what I'm going to go over later. That is one of my biggest complaints about modern games. Forced walking sequences, boring, long tutorial sequences, and just generalized limitations of what you can do, and just watching this game unfold. That is the first hour of the game. You maybe play for 5-10 minutes. How is this fun? Where's the fun? Aren't games supposed to be fun? It's like we're more worried about the shading on the upper lip, right, of the characters than the actual fun of the game. When does it become fun? So let's go into this one at a time. Everything I hate about Hogwarts Legacy and modern games in general. Okay, let's go over the first one, something I've touched on. Forced walk sequences. I first started noticing this in around the PS4 era. This is when this started, this idiotic. Now, I believe it originally started as a way to bypass loading screens. I noticed this a lot in the new Final Fantasy VII game, which I hate, by the way, for a lot of the same reasons why I hate this game. A lot of the same. So I played this on the PlayStation 4, and I noticed in certain towns, whenever the game would be loading things in the distance, I believe it is when it would start doing this forced walking. But a lot of the times, it isn't even for that. It's just like these sequences where you could only walk 1 mile per hour. You're usually following some characters. There's some type of banter going on between the characters as you're looking at the back of their head. And there's some pointless, idiotic dialogue while you're just walking super slow. Why do games do this now? How is this fun? Just being forced. I can't control I mean, if you're going to make me sit there and listen to dialogue, why not let me control my character? There's something to be said and just the fun of being able to move around, jump. That's what games used to be, right? So the guy's talking and you're like jumping on his head or jumping around in circles being stupid. That's fun. Let me control my character. Stop limiting the function of my character. It's so boring to me. I'm just sitting there like this, waiting to be able to even move my character as it forcibly is being forced to walk 1 mile per hour behind this guy. There is so many of these sequences in Hogwarts Legacy and all modern games, and I just can't understand why we're doing this. It's not fun. When does it become fun? Next thing I hate. Let me begin by saying this. We live in an era today of information. The information era. Anything and everything you could ever imagine is at your fingertips. If you want a tutorial on how to mix a drink properly with a straw after adding Kool-Aid to it, there's going to be one online. Everything you can imagine is online. I grew up in an era when you were on your own, man. Okay, so you bought a game, right? You bought Ocarina of Time. Unless you went to the store and you bought that guidebook, you were on your freaking own, man. No help. Unless you had a friend you could call, right? On the wall phone, on the dial tone phone. Unless you had a friend you could call, a friend you knew, a guidebook that your mom let you buy. Good luck with that. These were expensive. At the store, you figured it out or you didn't progress. It's just that simple. Unless you figured out that water temple on your own, you didn't go forward. And even in that age of no information, games were very difficult. They did not hold your hand. It was up to you to figure out. So a lot of these games, the challenge was solving them. A lot of them are like little puzzles. It's like you get in this temple and you're trying to figure out how to get to the other side. That's the fun of it. It's why it's a game. That's why it's not a movie. It's a game. The fun is entering it and solving it and learning how to beat it. That's like 90% of the fun of a single player game. You enter it, and the goal is not only this, progressing the story, learning the characters, the story, getting proficient at the gameplay. It's solving the problems the games present. That's the point of a puzzle. That's why you add a puzzle in the game, is to solve it. Now fast forward to today, modern games, in this information era, where if at any point you get stuck, you are a simple Google or YouTube search away from the answer. It's impossible to get stuck. If at any point you do, you just Google it. And even with that in mind, we live in a day where these games so just obtrusively hold your hand. It's like you enter a puzzle, right? Where I've got to move blocks around and jump on them in Harry Potter game, right? Using whatever spell name it is to move the blocks around. The second you enter the room, I wonder what would happen if I moved that block. Maybe I should move that block. They don't even give you a chance to try to solve it. Immediately you're met with a hint the moment you enter the puzzle. And not just a minor hint, they're telling you what to do. This is what I'm talking about with this modern gaming, and it's like being on a train track. It's like you're on tracks and it plays for you. And on one of the puzzles, I knew exactly what to do because it told me what to do for one, and it was an easy puzzle to begin with. I just kind of sat there rolling my eyes. And every minute that you don't solve it, you're met with another dialogue further giving you more hints, telling you what to do. Huh, that block over there looks suspicious. Maybe we should move it. Man, I think that block over there is the answer. If I was really stuck and I didn't want a challenge, I would just Google it. Stop playing the games for me, developers. At least give me the option in the options menu to turn this crap off. Say assisted mode, non-assisted mode, toggle. Let me turn that off. Let me solve the puzzles on my own. I don't need your help. Okay? It's okay to be challenged. It's okay to be stuck. It's okay. Like I said, if you're worried about your super casuals quitting before because they don't want to solve these, add a toggle mode at least. Please. Give me the option to opt out of this. Next thing I hate about modern games. Too much of the design of the game is spent on things that don't make it fun. There's too much time spent on, like I'm saying, the upper lip, the shading on the upper lip, the mocap of the thing. I love all that stuff. But all of that stuff is secondary to the fun. Spend more time on your actual game, on your mechanics. Have you ever played this Hogwarts Legacy? It's super glitchy. My character's like all the time. Whenever I'm trying to use the abilities to move around, if you step on like a rock, it breaks. Feels very awkward just controlling your character a lot of the time. Spend more time on that. Make it polished and fluid and fun to control before you're worried about the shading on the upper lip. Next thing, this is something I specifically hate about Hogwarts Legacy and other Ubisoft-style open-world games. They're all the same, right? In Hogwarts Legacy, you fly way up. You use Revelio. It shows you a bunch of tasks to complete, right? Merlin challenges. These challenges is the same thing over and over again. This is this Ubisoft-style open world. That's what I coin it. I don't know if they invented it, but I notice it in all of their open world style games. It's basically just a map with a bunch of icons that are all the same. Merlin challenge, this challenge, this challenge. They're like tasks, they're like chores. What is the point of an open world? The best example of an open world I could show you is like Elden Ring, right? That's a modern game that actually knows how to... What a phenomenal game. Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's a world of discovery, right? And ultimately, you're not going to discover everything. And that's what makes it so great every time you play it. You stumble upon new, exciting things around the world. Like, wow, look at this. There's a guy disguised as a tree that I could have easily just walked by that I happened to find this time, right? Stuff like that is just everywhere in the world. It's just a bunch of emptiness. It's just an empty world full of discovery, right? It's full of just random discoveries you can make. That's not the Ubisoft style open world mechanic. It's just go as high as you can on your stupid broomstick. Revelio. Oh, there's Merlin icon. Let me complete that so I can increase my inventory size. Let me just complete all the Merlins. All right, let me complete all of these so that I get more ancient magic slots. It's just a set of chores that you go to. There's no actual discovery. You're not actually, it's dead. It's such a dead world. That's just a short list. I could go on. This video is long enough. In short, to summarize everything all up, can we go back to just making games fun again? These modern AAA developers, please, your priority needs to be the fun. Make them fun again. It's okay to be challenged. It's okay. Like I said, your players, if they get stuck, they're going to Google it anyway. It's okay to give us a challenge. It's okay to make us feel challenged. And it's okay to allow us to be a little goofy and have fun with the game. Stop these, please, if nothing else, please remove these forced walk sequences from your games. Can this be something lost in the modern era that we get past and move on from? Well, if you disagree with me, please let me know in the comment sections below. If you agree, hey, give me that, hey, I agree, thumbs up. Appreciate you, everybody who watched. This is Justin Jets, signing out.